Straight people of Reddit, what's the gayest thing you've done? I'm a straight woman married to a man. That didn't stop me from having drunk sex with 2 girls when I was in college. My gay coworker and I always greet one another in the morning with, "Good morning, honey," or "Hey babe." I made out with my bi friend at a bar because some middle-aged women sitting at the same table basically offered to buy us a couple pitchers of beer if we did. There's now a video of it that our other friend took that occasionally gets brought up and shown to our other friends. A lot of our friends think it's pretty hot, including both his girlfriend and mine. I sucked my homie's nipples once, they had mustard on them, and we were hanging out with girls, all of us around 12 to 14. I forgot the reasoning behind it, I just remember thinking later, yo, you sucked your homie's pepperoni nipples. Disillusioned with the ladies as a 16-year-old, I decided to give this gay dude a shot. Went on a date, kissed at the end, found out I'm not into dudes. Let a dude blow me for lots of money, let me make it clear. I mean, he paid me, for me to allow him to perform oral on me. Basically a friend of an acquaintance, so a complete stranger, saw me randomly in public. He thought I was cute and asked her to essentially initiate negotiations with me in my DMs. He sorta Jeffree starred me. I was 18, broke, easily manipulated, and he was offering more money than I'd ever had at once. Part of me even thought, won't know I'm gay if I don't give it a try. Now I suppose I can say for sure I'm not, lol. How many girls can I make out with and still not be gay? 'Cause I've made out with a lot of women, now that I think about it. I kissed a dude for money. Yes, we were drunk and each got $20. It was only a lips pack. Didn't make out or anything. The bummer thing was the dude that made the offer wasn't looking when we did it at first, so we just did it again. I touched my best friend's boobs so I can drink at the never have I ever touched another girl's boobs drinking game. I was in basic training. The showers in basic were just this square room with shower heads all around the outside, and a small, 4 feet, opening on the end to go in and out. Well, in basic training, they tend to hurry you up a little bit whenever you do anything. In a rush to get out, I side shuffled face to face with this other guy that was coming in through that opening. Somehow, our DS contacted. Damn near at the base, and slid alongside each other, like a cool handshake or something. We looked into each other's eyes, and he said, "We will never speak of this." And I said, "Yep." Best friend is gay. He's a couple years older than me, so he has been going to bars for a while before I turned 21. He had a gay bar that he loved and would always talk about the new friends he made there, and since he was from the deep south, and kinda newly out, he just felt like he finally had people that got him. Anyway, the day I turned 21, instead of going to some club or something, I went to his gay bar, watched a drag show, and my buddy bought me some S where a super ripped bartender put his legs around me and gave me a shot poured from a shot glass with his mouth about 2 inches from mine. It was honestly fun as S, and I'm a very secure dude, so it was all in fun. I'll even admit, it was kind of fun to be hit on like I was some sort of super stud. When I was in the military, my good friend moved into my apartment with my ex-wife and me for about 6 months. We got drunk one night and pissed into the same toilet, at the same time, with the door open. We got some good laughs out of my ex. I'd like to think that's why we did it, but mostly, I think it was a measuring contest. Accidentally kissed my friend at a Halloween party. We were all up in each other's face for a mock aggressive stare down. So I made the kissy face to be funny. We were closer together than I thought. He said I was a good kisser. Tried to crank it to gay porn just to check. Didn't work, but I didn't know about incognito mode or clearing history, so that was a fun talk with my parents. Young me was an idiot. Held my brother's D for him so he could piss. He had an arm in a sling and had managed to throw his other shoulder out drunk as F in Vegas. This was in the early days of my college career when I'd go see my friends at another college. After partying during the day/night, 4 of us would pile into a single double bed and spoon. A few times one of us would call out spoon change to signal it was time for us all to turn over and face the opposite direction. Was 12 years old or so at my friend Ty's house. He was maybe 10, offered me $20 to make acts with our whiners. Needless to say, later that day I bought myself 2 12-packs of soda and some bags of chips. AskMen origin story. My best friend was sad. His boyfriend of a number of years cheated on him, and so my friend dumped him. He was most upset. He had booked a trip for a bear/cub retreat in northern CA. It had been a year or so since we had actually seen each other, so I suggested he go and I would come up and we could spend some time together and go wine tasting. And that's what happened. But the night I showed up was the bear/cub ball. So I was his date. We grew up together. It was strictly platonic. He's more my brother, but I learned that night I'm considered a bear. We came in second place in the ball. So much back hair. Rip pool drain. We laugh about it still, and I love him very much. He met another man that weekend and they celebrated their 5th anniversary last Pi Day. I had a sleepover at my friend's house when I was 13, and we laid out some blankets and fell asleep in his living room. I woke up first to him spooning me, and I didn't move at all because I wanted to avoid any awkward moment in our friendship by having us both know of that cuddle moment. So I laid there as still as I could for maybe 30 minutes until he woke up and quickly but carefully got off of me. I then got up 10 minutes later, and that moment now doesn't exist in our friendship. Had to hold my buddy's hand while the doctor played hand puppet with his prostate. You're a good friend. Slapped my friend's ass and then kicked it after he stole my Strepsils because his voice sounded horrible during a residential school trip. In the night he slapped my ass again, so I slapped it back. It ended up being a fight until like 12 in the night. All other 6 kids who was watching joined in the fight. That meant everyone was slapping each other's ass. This was in the boys' room. On the bells at New Year's this year, I kissed my other straight dude friend. Everyone else there was a couple, and we decided to show them up by being more passionate. We were very drunk. I didn't remember it until 2 weeks after. Good times. On the bells at New Year's this year, I kissed my other straight dude friend. Everyone else there was a couple, and we decided to show them up by being more passionate. We were very drunk. I didn't remember it until 2 weeks after. Good times. Me and my best bud, at the time, accidentally interlocked our ass cheeks in bed together. Accidentally. Accidentally. Well, I had a comfortably but not publicly out gay kid convince me that the best way to practice having sex with a girl, we were 13 at the time, was to practice humping each other. I had zero idea that was an issue, and we dry humped for an hour or so. OMG, I just had a flashback to my childhood. I remember I had a sleepover, around 13 years old, at a friend's house. We played soccer together and there were other girls there, too. I remember we all slept in the attic, which was a really cool hangout place, and we had air mattresses and sleeping bags. I was sleeping in a sleeping bag and I remember waking up to my friend. She somehow convinced me to practice kissing so we'd be prepared for boys. And I recall her climbing on top of me and making out hard, and she was grinding just as hard. It was not unpleasant, and I have no idea if anyone realized what we were doing. Your story reminded me of the buried memory. We never made out again. When I was about 10, my friend and I decided to practice kissing. Our parents were all doctors, so we had some vague sense of being safe and needing protection. Therefore we decided to be responsible and keep a sheet of plastic cling film between our mouths when making out. Only Swedish people know what happened in the pillow room. Masturbated to a picture of myself flexing at the gym shirtless. Narcissus moment. Nothing. I've said no homo before doing anything with other men. My buddy recently forgot to say no homo after a wild anal session. It wasn't the first time as well, and I'm beginning to suspect he actually might be gay. Does this make me gay as well? Because I explicitly said no homo. Had a threesome and ended up liking the girl better. A threesome with a couple was how I finally confirmed I was gay. A threesome was how I confirmed I am not at all gay. Made out with a dude. He's now my best man. I watched an episode of Glee once. I also like to D my ass, but I led with a strong argument. Shared a pillow and sleeping bag with another guy. I'm 6 feet 3 inches 200 pounds and he was 6 feet 180 inches lbs, so it was a tight squeeze, but it was 45°C and we were in a cabin without heat, so it was worth it. French kissed a guy on a drunk dare. Biggest surprise for me was that it just felt like kissing. I know it sounds stupid, but I thought it will somehow feel different with a man, but it didn't really. This experience actually taught me a lot about sexuality. Probably jacking off with a friend to see who could come first when we were in like middle school. Little did we know that it was definitely not heterosexual, and coming first would later be looked at as a bad thing. LOL. My 24M fiancé, 24F, is really into guys kissing each other. She's bisexual and I consider myself straight. However, one night I was drunk enough to kiss a nice gay guy that we were hanging out with, after she playfully said that it would make her really hot. Indeed, when we got home she went really wild on me, and we ended up having probably the best sex of my life. No regrets? Kind of a toss-up. It's either liking show tunes and Broadway musicals or the times I had sex with a guy. My best friend is gay. He got kicked out of his family when they found out, took his car, money, and threw him out. So, I had an empty room and let him stay with me and get him a job. But there would be times he would just come to my room while bawling. There were nights when we spooned until he passed out. Nothing ever happened more than that. He just needed to be held and to know he's loved. You're a really good friend. This was pretty sweet. Kissed my buddy, but it was a bet from other friend. They would $5 us $20 each, so we kissed and the money they showed us was fake, so yeah. Hooked up with another girl. She puked in my sink, stole my vibrator and wrote a note in my MAC lipstick in the mirror that said sorry for puking in your sink. No rejerts here. Shoved a Sharpie up my ass to see what the big deal is. I wasn't impressed. Damn, these straight people have done gayer things than I have, and I'm very gay. Figured out I was straight. The unusual way. Explain. Well, you never know until you try. Ride. Preferred trying with women. I, 18 male at the time, was receiving an amazing BJ from my girlfriend, 18F at the time, now wife. We were in her room at her mom's house with all kinds of magazine cutouts on the walls. We didn't really discuss where I was going to come, but knew she didn't want a shot to the mouth. Lost in the moment and brought to completion, I turned 90 degrees as quickly as possible and ejaculated on a picture of Josh Hartnett's face. A coworker made a pass at my GF at a social event. He said it's a free country and tried to shake hands, so I pretended I was cool and gave him a bro hug but didn't let go. When he looked at me puzzled, I inched my face close to his and romantically closed my eyes like going in for a kiss. When he pushed me off, he was disgusted and said WTF. I told him that's exactly how she felt. Stay the F away from us. Elton John lyrics tattooed on my ass. Cried in a lesbian bar when they vetoed my jukebox choice. Broke my own rule about repeating Halloween costumes for my Jack Twist from Brokeback Mountain costume. Sexted with other guys. Not talking about catfishes, but where we both made it clear we were guys from the start. I get really flustered around pretty women, as I'm not even being able to talk without stuttering a little bit. I'm still pretty much straight, but pretty women make me nervous. Pretty women scare all of us. A study session with my best friend turned into make-out session. I was at a friend's house and he was shirtless playing his Xbox, and the whole time I was sitting there I wanted to twiddle his nipples so bad for fun, but I didn't. I was tempted to though. Had my buddy's dad kiss my bare ass check after he lost a bet. Experimented with friends when we were all kids. Had sex with a guy. Went to a pride event with my gay friend and his partner. It was an absolute blast, and I ended up doing drugs with their group and all stripping down to our underwear and dancing. I really came to appreciate that the gaydar is a real thing. He was about as naked, high, and sparkly as all the dudes there, but almost everyone I talked to knew I was 100% straight. Aside from experiment in college and having it have been traumatic, pegged by my GF. Read these comments. Jerked myself off. That's pretty gay, bro. I've kissed many girls. Probably that. When I jerk off to gay stuff sometimes, but only like women IRL, am I partly gay then? Fingered a girl in the back of my car. Had sex with 3 girls in my life, though I've had 2 husbands and lots of men in my life. Went to plenty of Indigo Girls and Ani DeFranco concerts. Know those automatic lights that turn off if no one is in the room for a while? The lights in the men's room were off due to non-use, and there was a super long line for the ladies' room. I also saw Pansy Division once. Morrissey too. Kissed a guy just to check if I really was straight. I'm bi, but I just wanted to say that the gayest thing I have done is your dad. I've kissed 2 of my friends so far. Gotta make sure their lips are succulent for their maidens, you know. In high school, almost every time we got drunk, one of my best friends and I would end up making out just for fun. Once, we were at a party, got drunk and went outside with our boyfriends and started making out in front of them. Ended up turning them on, and me and my BF, had sex in the back of my BF's truck next to them, her and her BF, while they had sex. Didn't turn into a real foursome, but we were all turned on by us making out that we took it further and touched each other while our BFs ed us. This is the gayest thing I can think of, but now that VE written it out, doesn't sound that gay, and now I'm turned on all over again 8 years later. A lesbian, she wanted to try it just once. Kissed girls when I drink. I've pulled a Nerf dart out of my also straight friend's belly button with my mouth after a Nerf war. I was not the only one, and all of us kept cracking up at how dumb and gay it was. Lived with a gay guy for a couple years in college who seemingly befriended me, at the beginning at least, because he hoped I was gay too, then came out to me and still wanted to see if I was interested in sharing an apartment. I was really honored he was open to sharing that part of his life with me and moving in together even after finding out I wasn't also gay. We were great friends, and other than the time I accidentally burned some rice in one of his pots, I replaced it. We had a great living situation. This was in a fairly conservative area and time, so he and our friends were really careful about who to come out to, and our apartment became the place to be for our gay and lesbian friends. Once a month we'd have a big gay weekend so everyone could have fun and feel safe and free in this difficult place for them. We'd have everyone stay in for drinks and snacks and video games, then go to the drag night to dance at the only place anywhere nearby that was accepting and encouraging of LGBT for one night a month. Then come back to the apartment, lay a couple mattresses on the floor of the den, and watch goofy movies or, depending on intoxication levels, the funniest porn we could find. It was awesome. I actually would have done much better, hookup-wise, had I been gay. Alas. But I did fine on the straight side. He and I would help each other since we had opposite target audiences, and I made treasured friendships.